even still, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 1 between Out of the Breach versus SkadiDaddies. What a name, and what a picture as well. I mean, you can only see half of it there, but Faceless Void with 2 Skadi eyes on him. Looks scary, but I mean, does the job. If it strikes fear into the hearts of your opponents, that's what you want. But even still, this is for the RD2L Season 23, the Wednesday League. Week 3, I do believe. So we're about halfway through the group stage. Both these two teams are really starting to look to put some wins on the board and start guarantee some points for the rest of the league just to make sure they actually get through to the playoff stage. So both teams going to be trying the hardest, making sure they come out on top, at least getting 1 win. Obviously, you want that big W of the 2-0. I think that's when you get 3 points rather than just a single one. So we'll see if either team's going to actually be able to achieve that. But with the first set of bans, Out of the Breach taking away the puck as well as the Nyx Assassin. Let me just turn down the music just a little bit. And then from SkadiDaddies, removing the Axe as well as the Winter Wyvern. Both those 2 heroes are pretty high up in the meta at the moment. Obviously, the Axe doing the new Manta-style Aghanim Shard build, just turning him into a new position 1 sort of style hero, can blow up anybody, as well as the Winter Wyvern, which obviously is just broken with the goddamn heal. Like, it's all very, makes a lot of sense taking those 2 heroes out. Out of the Breach started things off with the first pick of the Snapfire. And, you know, it's always quite, it's not too bad starting off with the Snapfire because it can flex into the mid lane as long as if it is actually on the cards for the mid lane, if they can play that hero. So it's not like guaranteed to be a support by any means. And even then, it can switch between the 5 or the 4. It works in either one of the roles. Because really, all she needs is levels. As soon as you get your level 6, you're able to do quite a lot of damage with the Mortimer's Kisses. So, works no matter where she goes. But then the Skadi, they pick up the Lion. Again, pretty another solid position 4, but that hero is pretty much guaranteed to be a 4, right? Sometimes people like to play it as a 5, but you really want him to get like a Blink Dagger online to have that sort of guaranteed disable initiation on any sort of target you like. Works really well against people like Morphlin or Faceless Void, anything like that, to catch them out before they can try and react and keep themselves alive. And then they pair it up with the Centaur Warrunner, so a pretty strong offlane already there for SkadiDaddies. You've got the double stun with a lot of burst damage, so it's going to be a little bit of a dangerous safe lane there for Out of the Breach. But they did actually go for the Juggernaut, so immediately snapping up a position 1 that has a built-in magic immunity based ability, just to be able to avoid the chain stuns coming out from the early laning phase and hopefully evade his own death a couple of times. I mean, whatever position 5 Out of the Breach go with might not be so lucky. Generally, 5s don't have much of a save mechanic, so going to be really careful on their positioning to avoid this little deadly kill combo. Unless, of course, if it is the Snapfire 5, you have the cookie to try and like jump over some trees to get back towards your tier 1 tower, I guess, but that's not really going to be reliable enough to save you by any means. But even so, Out of the Breach taking away the Invoker immediately there in this second phase of bans. So just going to focus on towards the mid lane of the SkadiDaddies. Meanwhile, they themselves taking off the Tide Hunter, so going to start prioritizing the off lane there of Out of the Breach. Let's see what other heroes they're going to go for. Obviously, Dota buff doesn't really give me a huge amount of information at the moment because there's only a couple of weeks worth of data on there. Oh, pause. Is someone paused? I heard the pause sound, but the timer's still going. I didn't even realize you could pause in the drafting phase. I'm pretty sure you can't pause in the drafting phase. I don't know what that pause sound was from. That's throwing me well off. I ain't got a clue. I have not got a clue. But even still, let's see what other hero they're going to ban. SkadiDaddies. It looks like the only mid laners they've ran so far was the Death Prophet and the Invoker. Obviously, 100% win rate on both of those. So they're taking away the Invoker. I guess with the data that they have, they might just then take away the Death Prophet as well, realizing that it is in the wheelhouse of SkadiDaddies. Actually, no, they will take away the Tusk, which is a pretty resourceful position with also having the save mechanic of getting some of your teammates in the snowball if they get caught out in any sort of awkward position. But he has dropped off quite a lot in favorability the last few months, really. He was really high up there in the meta when 7.28 first came out. He was in pretty much every game if he wasn't banned. It was just really strong. But yeah, you just don't really see this hero anymore. But even still, Out of the Breach do ban it out just in case. Meanwhile, SkadiDaddies, removing the Timber Saw, always a pretty pesky position 3. Able to keep himself nice and safe by just Timber Chaining away. Super survivability with the reactive armor. And also able to pump out a fair amount of damage in the fights. And the TA gets removed from Out of the Breach. So that's their final ban for this second phase. So we'll see what the final ban is going to be from SkadiDaddies. Looks like they're probably going to target the 3 again of the off lane here. Might take away something like the Mars. Obviously a pretty decent off laner, tanky, has that big arena ultimate to help swing the team fights in your favor. Because you always got to make sure that you have some good team fight ultimate abilities on your heroes to actually just make those 5v5 fights just a little bit easier for you. But instead they actually decide to take off the Morphling. Rather than giving the offlane too much hate. You know, just spreading it around a little bit, which is fair enough. I can see that, it's fine. Now this third hero pickup, I imagine it's probably going to be whatever position 5 it is they do go for. And in the past, it looks like they've grabbed the Witch Doctor or the Abaddon. And those are the only 2 5s that we can go off so far with the Dota buff information. See if it's going to be either one of those 2 heroes. But actually eat into their reserve time. Start giving it a little bit of consideration. Maybe it might even bother grabbing the 5. Normally you'd see people grab the 5 now, just to limit the amount of time that the opposing squad has, or amount of picks they have, to try and counter out your main core. Unless of course they're scared the other team might take it, but Out of the Breach already obviously taken the Juggernaut, so not going to be looking to grab a new position 1 themselves. They're still really thinking about it. 1 minute and 10 seconds left of reserve time here for SkadiDaddies. Okay, and they do pick up the Lina, which is quite interesting because I've seen some people run a 5 Lina before. It's kind of okay. Never really see that much impact. I think the Lion then would probably work better as the 5. And then push the Lina over to the 4. But I mean, there is every possibility that this Lina could just be chucked straight into the mid lane. So, again, just a little bit of flex there. Just some drafting space for SkadiDaddies if they need it. I'm not quite sure who the mid laner for SkadiDaddies is. I believe it'd be Savakt. So I can't remember if Savak's a position 1 or if he's a mid. I'm pretty sure he's a mid lane player. Still, third hero here coming out here from Out of the Breach, and they actually go for the Rubik. I mean, that's a pretty nice pickup here. There's a plethora of skills on the side of SkadiDaddies, which are just amazing for him to steal. Pretty much you got the Spike, the Hex, and the Finger from the Lion, the Dragon Slave, the Laguna Blades, the LSA from the Lina, the Stomp from the Centaur, the Stampede as well. So already from just these 3 heroes alone, so much good available skills to take there. So I do quite like this pickup. Pretty much guarantees the Snapfire is going to be pushed into that 5 role now. Unless, of course, they're still thinking it can be pushed into the mid. It is possible. Can't write it off. But now, I'm going to guess it's both the supports of SkadiDaddies pick up. Probably now will be looking to grab that core. Whichever position 1 they want to go up against the position 1 of the Jug on the opposing side. And you already know you're going to be laning up against a Rubik plus 1 other. And what is that plus 1 other going to be? It's probably going to be someone who's going to limit the movements of your squad, because if the other team have picked up a Snapfire, they want to be able to hold people in a small area to make those Mortimer's Kisses actually really effective and do a lot of damage. So I imagine they might just go for Rubik. Hey, Miles, sorry, here from Out of the Breach. But was the PL grab there from SkadiDaddies? So not bad position 1 there to lane up against, well, not lane up against, but play up against the Juggernaut. Obviously, if he does ever try to go for Anomaly Slash onto you, you just doppelganger away. You completely disjoint the ultimate. It doesn't do anything whatsoever. So he's quite happy with that. Plus, it's a good way of actually avoiding the Mortimer's Kisses. So, already a pretty strong pickup there. And it's not really going to provide any good skills for the Rubik to steal. I mean, yeah, there's nothing that a Rubik actually wants from a PL. Only if he's in a really desperate situation, he might try and steal the Doppelganger. And my god, we see a dirty, dirty Tinker pickup here from Out of the Breach. This is why I always, every time I load up into my pubs, I try and ban the Tinker if I can because, oh, goddamn, it feels so horrible playing up against this guy. But even still, that is going to be the 4th pickup here from Out of the Breach. I believe, I can't remember who actually is the mid laner for Out of the Breach, but obviously Tinker takes a little bit of time to come online. I mean, all he really needs is those bots and a Blink Dagger, and then he could just start flying around the map, soaking up all the farm from the side lanes, constantly keeping them pushed out. So it means the Juggernaut will pretty much exclusively have to be trying to farm the jungle and the mid lane. Both the side lanes are just going to be the Tinker's territory. There wouldn't be much point for the Jug trying to contest him for that. So I think then without the Breach, they're going to need to pick up a offlane that can get active relatively early on to try and make space for the Tinker. And especially use someone who can just put their body in front of him to make sure that nobody on the side of SkadiDaddies can jump into the backlines and find him. But I mean, so far, the only real way that SkadiDaddies have to get on top of the Tinker is just to go for a Stampede and then try and get on top of him before he's able to rearm Blink Dagger out. So maybe they're going to be looking for a mid laner that can try and get on top of him. They do ban out the Zeus as well as the Ember Spirit, which definitely makes sense. 2 heroes, obviously. The Zeus able to find the Tinker no matter where he is, cancel out those Blink Daggers who can't escape. Pretty similar there with the Ember Spirit. You just fire Remnant up onto him and keep the dot on top of him so he can't get that Blink Dagger off. But there is still a Void Spirit left in the pool, which is another one of those heroes that can get on top of him. We'll have to wait and see which one they go for. You're going to say Out of the Breach going to take the axe? There you go. We got inside information here from Barry. He's calling the axe. And again, that's another tanky offlaner. Make the space for the Tinker. Try and get the grab onto anyone that tries to find him in the trees. Oh, no, they actually then go for the Pangolier instead. So I'm a little bit worried here for the lineup about the Breach because they don't really have a frontline tank. No one that's really going to want the side of SkadiDaddies to get on top of him. The Pangolier is just going to be rolling around. So no one can actually engage onto him, so they're just going to be trying to ignore the rolling boulder. The Rubik and the Snapfire are going to just be trying to sit in the back, throwing out some spells, and the Juggernaut's going to be spinning and using the Omni Slash. So I don't know. It feels a little bit clunky there. We'll have to wait and see how this pick turns out, but only 10 seconds left here for SkadiDaddies, looking for their mid laner. I think the Void Spirit would be a good shout here for them. Okay, they're actually going to go for the Bat Rider instead. Here's another hero that can find the Tinker in the trees. Obviously, you go for the Firefly, and you get that flying vision. Try and get the find if you possibly can. Here we go, yeah, Savak's taking the Bat Rider, so I'm sure he is actually the... yeah, I'm pretty sure he is the mid laner, because I wouldn't see anyone else going in the mid lane in this lineup. So going to be Bat, Tinker in the mid lane. We'll see how that pairing goes. We'll see... I imagine Savak's probably comfortable with this matchup to want to take this hero into it. Obviously, as well, you could just go for the Flaming Lasso onto the Juggernaut, even if he spins. So there's not going to really be a safe way for the Jug just to go for a spin TP out if he does get caught in an awkward position. But neither team really has like a super crazy amount of team fight, right? I guess it's just that Out of the Breaches have got a little bit of advantage with the Rolling Thunder as well as the Mortimer's Kisses. If Gas Bear can chain stun some people with the roll, they could set up for a lot of damn damage coming out from that. So you'd rather have the axe, depending on how scary the PL gets. Yeah, I mean, the Pango can be quite nice if he gets the Maelstrom, and he can target the roll quite nicely. Just try and stun lock the PL, as well as obviously if you do have the Maelstrom with the Swashbuckle, try and clear out some of those illusions. But that's only really going to be effective towards the early to early mid game, because after that point, the PL illusions will be pretty damn tanky, and I don't think even the Swashbuckle Maelstrom will be able to clear them off. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm not quite sure who I'm leaning towards in this game number one. I think I am leaning slightly towards SkadiDaddies, mainly just for the fact that they do have an actual some front line. They have ways to make some space for their squishy heroes in the back lines. But I could be completely wrong. The game could work out that they don't even need a front line, and I'm just chatting shit. We'll have to wait and see. But even still, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, for game number one between OutOfTheBreach versus SkadiDaddies. Week number 3 of the RD2L Season 23 Wednesday Division. Or Wednesday League. Are they classed as divisions? I guess they'd be classed as divisions. I'm not too sure. We do have a pause. I'm not quite sure what we pause for. So everyone's saying, like, the Brody's like, oh, come on, seriously, I'm a one-hero player, and you let it go. And they're like, Savact, guys, my cat ran outside. Can we redraft and ban Tinker? Gasper's about like banned the whole hero pool. Can't play anything. Real sad. It's fact asking for tips on how to play the Bat Rider in the mid lane. Brone's going to spam first spell all the time. But that's solid advice for a Bat. Try to kill me when you get 5+ stacks. This is really nice, you know, giving information on your opponents on how to kill you. That's some really friendly stuff. Really friendly stuff. Yeah, the Bat is a scary pick as well. Yeah, it definitely is. It could definitely do work, especially if they get the vision onto the Tinker. And if they flame and lasso him, he will just melt in seconds. Like, they would probably just use double support ultimate. So Dragoon Blade plus Finger. Because even level 1, what's that? Dragoon Blade 500, Finger 600. So that's 1100 magic damage at level 6. So around the 10-minute mark, they could probably just go mid and both just press R on the Tinker and he'll probably just die. Nothing else even required. But I'm sure it won't come to that. I'm sure it won't. Cheers for the shout out, Brony. Cheers, bro. Always nice getting shout outs. That doesn't mean I'm going to support your team. I've got to stay unbiased. Got to be even. I'm not quite sure what the pause is for. I think it was his immediate pause from SkadiDaddies, I believe. Maybe it's an important pause. They're thinking about it. Some heads-up information. Even just like the little button. Hang on. Like for the SkadiDaddies logo, just the faceless void face with those Skadi eyes. It actually looks pretty terrifying. It kind of reminds me of something out of Monsters Inc., but I'm not quite sure what. Maybe the lizard guy. What was his name? Barry? Gary? It was something like that, right? No, Randall. Randall? I think it was Randall. It's because Barry, you confusing me with your own name, man. Throwing all these false names into my head. It's a simple logo as well, but it is kind of effective. I quite like the look of it. I like how teams do put a bit of effort into their team logos, even though they're only like shortly lived. So it's nice to see. But here we are. The game is being resumed. We are a go, and let's see if either one of these teams tries to go for a particular first blood move, perhaps, and secure some extra bounty runes. I mean, most people don't really do that nowadays. It used to be when these river bounty runes first came out, there was always fights for them. Always fights. But now, people aren't really that bothered about them. They normally just go 2 for 2. I mean, it doesn't really have the hugest impact in the world. Like, they're only worth 40 gold each at the start. I mean, sure, spread across the entire team, it's 200 gold. But even still, it's not really going to change the game that much. Burns. Pretty much just, once you get your 2 tangos, 2 bounty runes. It's pretty much the set of tangos.
To hell with you.
It's always the start of the game where people just spam the hell out of voice lines. It's so confusing. This is like
I'll be back to finish this
audio overload. Just can't fucking hear myself think. Oh, you actually made the logo as well, Barry? Oh no, it's legit, man. It's legit. Don't worry about it. It's good.
Radiant versus Dire.
But it doesn't end up being 2 for 2. Out of the breach, securing the top bounty room. Meanwhile, Skadi taking the bottom 2. I should let you know as well, Barry, seems like this is radio dotes for you, that SkadiDaddies are the Dire and Out of the Breach are Radiant. Important information for not having a screen. And everyone just splitting 2-1-2 as well across the map. No one's going to go for any sort of cheeky early try lanes, perhaps, to grab an early kill. Already Brony at the start. 6 stacks of napalms onto him. Now 7. Telling Savak now to dive. He's like trying to bait him in for an easy kill. But he knows he shouldn't. There's no way you can dive into at least probably level 3. 2 points into napalms with Firefly online. Savak's not going to take the bait. But even still, it's pretty much an entirely fully charged magic stick there for Brony. So it's always nice to have that immediate burst heal. But I'm not quite sure what happens in this matchup. Obviously, the Tinker's always going to be susceptible just getting dived underneath the tier 1 tower eventually when there is actually a few levels on the Bat Rider. But it'll be a few minutes until we actually see that potential move come out. But until then, I guess it's just pretty even. Like, they both have similar damage, right? Actually, no. Brony on 68 plus 2. And Savak's actually only on 49. There's like 20 damage difference between these two heroes at the start, which is a pretty huge chunk, to be honest. So far, Manbear Slav is actually not doing too hot in terms of CS. Only 3-1 right now. Especially when you compare it up. I mean, it's not too much difference, actually. But Schnorr, the PL at the top lane, at the top of the CS chart at the moment, 7-1 on him. I mean, there's not really too much that a Pangolier can do to harass him out right now. Especially seems how the Lion's super low HP. Physics doing a great job at harassing out that support. Making sure this PL is alone. But, I mean, even still, Schnorr doesn't really care. He's happy to be alone. Just means he's getting solo experience for this. Already level 3. And Physics needs to be a little bit careful. Taking quite a lot of right clicks. And that's like a really goddamn confusing name on this Lion. The Slavic Savage? Okay, yeah, the Slavic Savage, but I mean there's loads of numbers and everything in there that is not easy to read. I'll just call him Savage. I think that's the easiest way to just call that guy's name. But he was still in this mid, pretty much similar to CS, 10-1 to Savak on the Bat Rider to the 8-2 of Brony. Going to start using the March of the Machines as he now picks it up. That's literally just to farm up the stack of creeps off to the side. But level 1 March of the Machines obviously not doing that much damage. It only puts him to just over half HP. So he's going to have to do that a couple more times before he actually farms it up.
Not for you.
I mean, this is early putting points into the laser beam. Makes it really goddamn annoying for Savak to secure those important last hits. Because the blind chance is 100%. 100% chance to miss. For 3.5 seconds, it's really goddamn broken. Like, you just wait for them to try and go for that important range creep. You blind them up. And then you just deny it right in front of their face. It's like, what can they do? Can't do anything. Oh, the Slavic Savage, he just disconnects. Not even a pause coming out. So that is immediate internet problems. I mean, it looks like his hero had already started just running back to base as well. So I guess he must have just dropped and no one had realized. So unfortunate there for him. But that is the problem with online games. Sometimes people just don't really have the best internet in the world, and it comes back to bite him in the arse. But hopefully he manages to rejoin relatively quickly, and it doesn't cause too many issues for the rest of the squad. Yeah, that blind. The blind is BS. It really is. Especially it seems how later onto the game, you just use it, you rearm, you use it again, and unless someone actually has like magic immunity, then they're just missing everything. It's It's really goddamn horrible to play up against sometimes. I mean, Tinker in general. Tinker in general is just really goddamn annoying to play up against sometimes. Just really annoying. And Brody was saying that he loves to play Tinker, but I'm surprised that he's not high level. He's only... Well, he's still only bronze tier on it, which is quite interesting. I don't know, maybe he just spams it in tournaments and just standard pubs. Doesn't like to take it into ranked, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But so far, top of the CS chart is all 3 cores of SkadiDaddies. Dark Persona sat right at the top there, 13 and 10 on this Centaur. So taking a huge chunk of experience away from the Juggernaut just in those denies alone. I mean, that transmutes to about, well, it's about a third of a level difference between the two of them as well. But I mean, Dark Persona still has another wave yet to come. I mean, he gets harassed out a fair chunk by the little shredder there from Fred, as well as the right clicks. But I mean, it's always pretty deadly for Fred as well. You're using that onto a Centaur, so that retaliate does a hell of a lot of damage coming back into you. So something to be really cautious about. With these 4-minute water runes, it looks like both of them are actually going to be secured here from SkadiDaddies. Savak managed to take the bottom one, the top one, and Patro, sorry, rotating to secure the bottom one. He's actually going to try and wrap around here, maybe go for a first blood attempt here onto Brony. The LSA does connect, as well as the fire blast going backwards. Brony just immediately goes to the TP out. He realizes there's no cancel, and he only TPs to the tier 1 tower. He realizes that he can stay in this lane. No reason to go all the way back to the base and miss out on CS. Just next level game sense for him. Unfortunately, the tower just steals all of his last hits, which is a bit unfortunate. And the fact that Savak was able to secure both runes, so full HP, full mana, with a water rune in his bottle. Meanwhile, Brony, no regen on him whatsoever, and only with 200 HP, 200 mana. He's going to have to be really careful that Savak doesn't just dive him underneath this tier 1 tower. Especially seems like Firefly's back off cooldown as well. And the creep's going to be pushing him. You know, Schnall up top, just happily just farming away, despite the fact that Gasper and Physics is always right on top of him in this lane. It's not able to really pressure him whatsoever. Just complete free farm up here, top of the CS chart. But actually, Manbes has actually managed to recover quite nicely himself, equalizing the last hits of Schnorr with the added benefit of having more denies. So both position 1's doing quite nicely in this early game. And sometimes normally you see like position 1 struggle a little bit. Oh, the cookie there onto Manbear. He turned the wrong direction at the last second and just jumps into nothingness. Oh, I missed that, but first blood actually comes up to the top lane there from Physics, grabbing the kill onto the Slavic Savage, with the help of Gasper, of course. And there's no greater feeling than getting first blood on the support. Oh, I love that. Immediate boots. Buy them things, get them out there. Super damn nice. I'm quite surprised that the safe lane here of OutOfTheBreach haven't gone for an attempt to kill. And actually, as I said, they try and go for onto Dark Persona. It's not going to be an easy kill whatsoever. All the skills do connect. Dark Persona's getting pretty damn low. He's only a little bit low on HP. But the LSA connects on Patro with the track save on top. Manbase gets so low. He's just going to die for this. The right click's enough to take him down. And now Fred has to run away. No HP, no mana to keep the chase going. Dark Persona and Patro are pretty low themselves, but they come out on top. And he still the ring of health on the Centaur as well is just going to allow him to regen up. Doesn't have to go back to base whatsoever. So a little bit of an unfortunate first move there from OutOfTheBreach. I was thinking that they'd probably make their first move onto Lina, but they decide to go onto the Centaur. Ends up biting him in the ass. Still, you've seen this mid lane. Savak starting to outpace the Tinker now in terms of CS. 36 of him to the 26 of Brony, so a full 10 separating. And even in net worth, it's actually already a 600 gold difference. I mean, it's 7 minutes 20 seconds into the game. 600 is a fair chunk of gold. Even Patro TP'd into the mid lane just to fill up Savak's bowl for free. Oh, as I'm talking about that, the Slavic Savage dies yet again at the top lane. So I mean, Schnorr's having free farm. He's not being pressured whatsoever, but not quite so lucky there for the Savage.
Where are you watching? That's how it's done.
Oh, Stampede. Used there from the Centaur. I think it's literally just to try and get on top of the Brony in the mid lane there. For Patro making his own rotation around again, pretty low. Patro dies. They still are able to get the return kill there onto Brony. And Savak getting the kill. And I think SkadiDaddies are perfectly happy with that. I mean, Brony sure got the kill onto the Lina, but it was shared with the Rubik. Meanwhile, Savak was able to get the solo experience there for the Tinker kill. So nice couple of rotations, even dropping the trash. Damn. Out comes the classic RD2L BM. It just wouldn't be the same this league without it. Meanwhile, at the bot lane, Dark Persona is pretty damn low, and the spin there from Manbear, able to run him down behind the tier 1 tower. He's in a little bit of an awkward position now. He's low HP, low mana, and Patro is actually coming up from behind him, hits him with the Dragon Slave. And Manbear will just run out behind the trees, and he will escape. So the CS between the two position ones is pretty much identical. Like 80 gold separating the two of them. And CS as well, yeah, only two creeps. So pretty much a very similar start there between the position ones. Schnorr already got his Hood of Defiance online.
Money to burn.
Meanwhile, Manbear, he's got his face boots and he's working towards the Maelstrom as his first item. He's only about 50 gold away from actually getting the Javelin. And he's going to try and progress into the full Maelstrom as fast as he can. Just to spin the scat boss there, just to harass him out. Actually, they're even going to cookie forwards. I don't think they can really go for this kill. And now, Dark Persona's going to turn around there with the Stampede, just charged at Manbear, doing tons of damage. The Stampede, though, already used. So he's not going to be able to get a connection. I think he used it a little bit too early to get the immediate connection after the spin. So they take heavy amount of harassment damage for that move. And Manbear, he's actually just going to run into the jungle now. We'll just spin up to farm a little stacks on the small creeps. Well, still just Savak just beasting out on farm at the moment. 64 CS for him. And at the top of the net worth chart, 4,300 gold. Like a full 1,000 gold over the top of the Tinker at this point in the game. I mean, the other two cores, I mean, the three cores of the side out of the breach have actually managed to go over the top of the PL and the Centaur, but there's still a fair chunk behind this Batrider. So we'll see what Savak's going to be able to do with this early lead. Already having his bots online. And now about to hit level 10 once he kills this last creep. He actually just ran right past it. He did see there was one creep left. So unfortunately that camp's not going to get refreshed. But he's going to pop a Invis rune and start heading down towards the bottom lane now. Fred as well as Manbear are still in the vicinity. I'm sure the Jug's going to be the main target. Oh, the Cookie actually ends up missing Dark Persona as well as the spin already been used. He's not going to have that magic community. The Earth Spike connecting on towards Manbear. The Flaming Lasso comes out as well, holding him in place. The burn damage ticks him down, and the Juggernaut is gone. Brony actually TP's down as well to try and lend a helping hand, but the damage has already been done. Already got the Jug killed, but at least Brony now has his own bots online. So he's going to be able to start just flying around the map and really helping out the rest of his team, or at least stealing their farm, which is the case of most Tinkers. Still Schnorr, just happily farming up top, not being pressured still whatsoever. He's working on to, I'm guessing, an S and Y. He's got something coming out in the courier. Oh, Gloves of Haste. So he's actually just finishing up his boots, getting those power treads online. And then I guess he'll go for the S and Y. It's a pretty standard sort of PL build. Ooh, had a little bit of stutter there in the game. That was a weird Stampede. Used there from Dark Persona in the bot lane, but it's literally just to evade the aggressive move there from Manbear as well as Brony and Fred. So it gets him out of danger. Savak is in the vicinity as well. Was in the trees, but looks like he's just going to change his mind and run back towards the mid lane. Maybe hoping to get a catch onto a Brony, perhaps. No, Just going to actually loop back round and start going into the creeps. And meanwhile, at the top lane, a little bit of initiation here onto Gasper. He's getting pretty low. He tried to go for the Roll of Thunder, but it doesn't matter. There's just too much damage. He dies before he can get it off. And now Physics getting ran down here. The finger from long range. It's not enough to get him killed immediately, but he will still go down. And I think that was right on the edge of when the finger charge was allowed, as he does manage to get it there for Savage. Because I know it lingers for about 2-3 seconds maybe. It was just about enough. But meanwhile, actually, down the bot lane, they're able to get a return kill on Dark Persona, but immediately, Savactis there on top of Manbear, holds him in place with a Flame and Lasso, and Patro just slaps him in the face with a Dragoon Blade. So a nice quick return kill. I think that's a trade SkadiDaddies will be happy with. Losing the off laner for the position 1 takedown. Just going to help further the rift between this Juggernaut and PL, which is about 800 gold now. A lift back there from Physics onto Schnorr. They're trying to pressure him. And Physics just steals the Doppelganger. And well, obviously, Doppelganger not really that effective in the hands of Rubik whatsoever. He's actually going to carry on trying to follow Schnorr here. He does actually spot him farming up a creep stack. But now he's got to be careful. The Lion is here as well. They're going to carry on chasing after him. They're even going to use the Stampede just to get on top. Doppelganger was there to give him the space. Oh, Savage! He stuns completely the wrong direction. The Rolling Thunder as well from Gasper is going to try and make some space. He's caught Savage between the two little tight points of this of the staircase. But even still, it's not going to be able to find it. But the stolen Stampede there from Physics, as Dark Persona came over this lane to lend a helping hand, does end up finding anything. And he might just end up getting taken down here. As Brony's also come on top. The rearm, obviously 3 seconds, only level 1, so it's a really long goddamn time. Dark Persona's trying to just juke into the trees. I don't think there's any way they can get the catch. That's the rotation for Patro. The LSA connects onto Physics, and he takes him down. The boots of travel from Savage got immediately countered there from Gasper, who just swashbuckled the creep. Make sure that the Bat Rider does not get involved, and that will set up for a free tier 1 take. Svax actually just making the long wrap round here, running up towards the top lane. He is going to run into Fred to be the first target, but I'm sure they want the more tasty kill of the Pangolier if they can get it. Svax, he tries to push Fred back just as he goes for the for the cookie, but he does avoid it. And now 4 heroes from the side out of the breach. Warp's Kiss is also coming out top, but they use the Flame and Lasso onto the Rubik, tracking him back, but then Warp's Kiss as well as the Shrossbuckle takes down Dark Persona in return. And the Rocket just able to get the catch there onto Patro, and it takes him down from afar. Rolling Thunder also used there from Gasper, but not even required. Immediate action down towards the bot lane. Looks like the PL come down here to try and contest the power of a Manbear. The Svax also here trying to pressure into him. But Brony shows his face, and it's enough to make the 2 members of SkadiDaddies just to back out. The Schnorr is definitely a difficult kill to try and get. With this early Hood of Defiance, going to give him so much magic damage protection, which is pretty much the entirety of the early damage here from Out of the Breach. He's actually just going to run at Schnorr with the spin. And Brody actually, yet again, using his spots to go down to the bot lane. But I mean, at this point, he's just sort of stealing the farm that Manbear wants. Even so, Manbear was actually able to find them despite the March of the Machines on top of him. And this is for max level March of the Machines now. Brony, level 13 on him. Now the level 2 rearm as well. Just going to really ramp up this guy's farming speed tremendously. And just those rocket spam. It's like, Savac can't even get close to the goddamn creeps of farm. These rockets from afar. Really horrible. What's the score? It's 8-8. Even split. Less than 1k gold lead in the favour of Out the Breach. So super even right now. Still pretty much equal farm between the position 1s. 200 gold difference. Just Schnorr slightly ahead. And actually, Out the Breach trying to make a little aggressive move here into the dire triangle. Forces them both away. But that does give the information that there is a high ground ward here as those rockets from the Tinker getting that long range connection. But actually, the Rolling Boulder going forward with the Blink Dagger there. Connects onto Schnorr. He's got no Doppelganger. Oh, but the Hood of Defiance, it actually blocks the magic damage. He might be able to survive this. As well as the Stampede being used. Schnorr is going to juke out the Doppelganger. He gets him out. Only needs one more connection. The swashbuckles there from Gasper. Gets the connection to him before the PL can escape. Even Patro, he sticks his head out just a little bit too much. And Gasper just taps him once. The Maelstrom procs enough to finish him. And And the TB coming in here from Dark Persona. Oh, they tried to go for the stun there from Fred, who was a little bit off the mark. And he will escape with his life. But even still, this tier 1 tower in the mid lane will go down. And now the Breach successfully getting a couple of kills. Take down the PL as well as the tier 1 tower. Fantastic turn of events there for them. And Juggernaut didn't even have to get involved. Just happily able to just carry on farming at the bot lane, trying to progress his own game. And he has his Maelstrom online now as well. So his farming speed is definitely going to be ramping up nicely. Oh, Fred. Nearly getting caught there from a few members of SkadiDaddies. Savak charging forwards. Maybe wants to go for the Flame Lasso. Actually, still on cooldown for another 50 seconds, but doesn't matter. Dark Persona, he gets the cut off. Savage also just getting the kill there with a finger. Actually, the Omnislash gets committed here from Manbear. He does manage to take down the Lion, who's completely separate threats. See, Magic Gasbear jumps on in there with the Rolling Thunder, trying to make some space. Manbear started going back, but it doesn't matter. Gasbear's on top of him with the Swashbuckle, takes him down. Nice double connection there with the LSA from Petro to hold them both back. Actually, Gasper's not even done yet. Still charging in. There with the Swashbuckle. Only one more hit's required. He's super down low. Another LSA. Gets the connection. He's going to turn around with the Laguna Blade. He gets the return kill to Gasper. Manbear will run him down. But even still, that's a 5 kill streak going towards Patro. 759 gold for him. And he done the return tip. And Gasper was just like, yeah, fair. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that tip. But with this aggressive moves, OutOfTheBreach have spotted a triple stack here on the Ancients, and Manbear's going to try and farm this up with the help of the Marching Machines. There is a dire ward here, so they will see this going on, but no one's going to be able to react fast enough to get the catch. And actually, Dark Persona, he's a stepped miles out of position. He gets caught out here from Telekinesis. The jump force there with the spin on top is going to be enough damage to take him. He doesn't actually have enough mana for the Stampede. The LSA there from Patro will get the connection as the spin wears off. And now with the Hex, with the spike on top, is it going to be enough damage? Manbear's getting super low. He will end up getting dropped. The Morpher's Kiss is raining down from above. Gets the kill to Dark Persona at least. Actually, the Tinker did. Meanwhile, what the hell? Where's Savak getting all these kills? I didn't even see that going on. But Savak managed to get the kill both of the backlines. Physics as well as Fred being taken down. I didn't even see him doing it, but he did it. Easy double kill there for the bat. Working on towards his own BKB as well after he went for the Hand of Midas. After the BOTs were completed. Still in the mid. Gasper trying to control up Schnorr with the Rolling Thunder. Bouncing in between the trees. Even Brody gets the connection there with the laser beam, but still not enough to get damage. And Schnorr, he unluckily gets put towards the low ground there with the Doppelganger. I don't think it would have made a difference. He still would have get caught out. With Dark Persona jumping in towards Fred to make a little bit of space for Savak to retreat. It will be enough. You know, Brody's just doing Tinker things. With a haste rune as well, just rearming, use rockets, rearm, use rockets. And it's like the entirety of the Centaur's HP just gone. Has to walk away. And Gasper's actually gone down towards the bot to farm up, but he's got to be careful. Patro and Savak are in the trees, going to try and go for Wrap Round. Patro's going to lead things up there with the Yule Scepter, gets the LSA connection, but after he already got the jump, but it doesn't matter. The Lagoon Blade was there from Patro, takes him down immediately. Savak did use the Flaming Lasso for that, and it wasn't even required, so now that's going to be on cooldown for 115 seconds. Oh, Brony. He's going to run into Schnorr here, just trapped in the middle of the lane. He didn't even go for the TP out, he's got no mana left. Brony's just going to get ran down here. He's actually pretty damn quick from the PL, but it doesn't matter. The slows and the illusions, it's just a matter of time before he dies. And that was the easiest solo kill of Schnorr's life. 830 gold for killing that Tinker, which is absolutely fantastic there for Schnorr. It's the sort of money he needs to help recover his game a little bit. And just with that alone, he's only 400 gold behind the Juggernaut now. Savak's like, that's pretty pathetic. Brody, I let him kill me. Did he let him kill him? That is the question. That is the question. The Manbear, with the S and Y now online, got the Aghanim's queued up as his next item. So he does have a little bit more capabilities to start getting involved in the fights with the rest of his team. As well as the added stat resistance, just going to work fantastically up against the plethora of disables that are in the hands of SkadiDaddies. It might just mess up the skill timings from a couple of heroes, which then will give him that little tiny gap of time where he's not stunned to get the Blade Fury off and maybe try and get himself out. The 4-man rotation now coming out from out the breach towards the top lane. It will just scare Dark Persona away. Actually, all very aggressive, moving in towards jungle. Gasper jumping forwards. Oh, the Roll of Thunder. He jumps immediately onto 2 people. It's going to stun lock with here with the All Scepter on top, pushes them both away. Savage is going to drop, and then Dark Persona quickly follows him. Fantastic moves there from Gasper. Absolutely top-notch showings there from this Pangolier. That was the easiest kills of Manbear's life. I thought they might have tried to transition that into a tier 2, but oh, actually, no, they're going to take the much higher priority kill, getting this first Roshan on the board. I'm assuming they put the Aegis into the hands of the Jug, which will then just make him able to man up that little bit easier. I mean, they could possibly put it in the hands of Brody, maybe? But, I mean, I don't really see this guy dying unless he just gets caught in the middle of the wave. Even still, they get the Roche kill, an immediate smoke out as well. But I think that smoke was spotted. There was a little ward up on the high ground, so they would have seen the little puff of smoke. I'm not sure if they're actually going to be able to successfully find anyone off this. They're going to start trying to move in towards the Radiant Triangle. But Petra's in the perfect position to pop the smoke. They can lead in the up smoke from Savage. It misses, doesn't connect on anybody. The All Scepter there for Petra just to make some space onto Manbear, as well as the Stampede. So everybody manages to escape the area successfully. And now it's 4k gold lead in the favour of Out the Breach. And with a wave just pushing into this tier 2 at the bot lane, they're going to try and take this tower down. And there is a glyph available though. So there is the option for SkadiDaddies to maybe defend this tower. You know, Brody just pushing in the mid lane with the Tinker. March of Machines. And no sort of attempt coming out from SkadiDaddies here to keep this tower alive. They did actually use the glyph in the end, but then a glyph used them out of the breach in return just to keep the creeps alive and keep this push going. And the tier 2 does end up dropping down. You know what, Savakt at the top lane trying to take down this tier 1 tower. The deny comes in there from physics before he can. But even still, it's a TP rotation from the Rubik. So that will stop any sort of extra push coming out here from out the breach. So this Tinker's getting pretty damn massive now. Blink bots, Aghanim Scepter, a 25 minutes in. Enough just to buy out the Ether Lens as well. And then I'm sure he'll probably go Scythe, maybe into Skadi. Oh, actually, there's a catch onto Fred in the river. He's going to get held up. Gasper, oh, he goes a little bit wrong direction there with the swim, but it doesn't matter. The Omni Slash comes out from Gasper, takes down Dark Persona in return. So it's definitely an effective trade. They're going to keep chase here onto Savage. The roll does get the connection before he's able to turn around with the spell. Brody actually getting the kill there with the long-range rockets. So a 2-for-1 trade. Svak trying to cut the creep wave. Got to be a little bit careful though. And Swashbuckle did actually get the connection onto him. But where it's night vision, they can't quite see him hiding into the trees. And he will manage to get out. So I think we're back in the game. Tinker should still get BKB. Nah, I don't think he needs BKB, really. I mean, I was worried that there wouldn't be enough frontline for Out the Breach to give some space to this Tinker, but they're doing a pretty damn good job as it is at the moment. I think Gasper's performing so damn well on this Pangolier this game that he's just really doing a fantastic job of making sure they can't really get anywhere. There's loads of spells with chucked out here from SkadiDaddies to get this push off their tier 2 tower. It does get Manbear pretty damn low. The tier 2's low itself, only 470 HP left. And now the Breach, they just back off and go for a smoke now. Just go for like a fake back, see if anyone on the side of SkadiDaddies sets out position. And Svak is actually moving up onto the high ground here. They will get the spot onto him, but immediately Svak pops his own BKB, goes for the lasso immediately onto the Rubik. Poor old Physics not has a chance in hell of surviving this one. The aggressive Doppelganger used to jump in there from Dark Persona as well, trying to get the initiation onto Manbear. He's not able to find it. The long-range laser as well gets the kill onto him before the first life the Jug can even be used. And Gasper's still trying to chase after Schnorr here. He does get one more connection with the Rolling Thunder, and the long range damage from Brody's enough to get the kill. The PL dies as well. So 2 cores dying just for the kill onto the Rubik. And we'll see what sort of damage Out of the Breach are going to be able to do with this space. Especially seeing as how they're still going to have this Aegis intact. They should successfully manage to finish off this tier 2 in the mid. I mean, maybe even push on for more if anybody steps out of position. Patcho just trying to take the aggression there from the creeps away from the tower with a couple of spells, but that's only going to delay the inevitable. The tower still ends up dropping down. Now, Savak looks like he tried to cut the creep wave there, but only actually managed to grab 2 of them. Maybe still he's just going to carry on trying to farm up his own game. And needs the next item online to really start helping out his team a little bit more in these next fights. He does have the Shiva's Guard queued up as his next item, but obviously that's a very expensive one. So he's still going to be a few thousand before he can actually reach that milestone. Meanwhile, Aegis just been reclaimed there from Manbear. So they may not have actually needed it in the end. But it's done its job. Just having that little extra mental factor of the fact that, you know, oh, I've got the Aegis, I can man up. It does not matter. And with this crack camp about to be finished here from Manbear, that's going to be the full Aghanim Scepter on him as well. So going to have that added bonus of the Swift Slash. And now the final tier 2 at the top lane here from SkadiDaddies is getting pressured in from the entirety of Out of the Breach. And still nobody's in the vicinity. They're actually all grouped up in the mid lane. And they've gone for a smoke now. We'll see if they're going to be able to find anyone off this. I think this move is going to come out too late to save the tower. Actually, it's still alive. And Schnorr's actually leading the charge. Savak's actually, the smoke gets popped. Physics in the right spot. And then Gasper, he jumps straight on in. The Rolling Thunder did so much work. Catch on to everyone. Savak dies before he can even get the BKB off. Persona gets taken out as well. He managed to get a stampede, but it didn't matter at all. Even getting the finish on the Savage. Brody, he's actually caught out position. He does get picked off. But he's immediately going to buy back and come and rejoin the rest of this fight. Schnorr, he's been RTZ'd. He's up on the cliff. He's going to go for the TP out as they don't actually have vision onto him. So he will successfully escape. So it was actually a 3 for 2 with a buyback there from the Tinker. But no buyback available for the Centaur or the Batrider. And there are creeps up on the tier 3 at the top lane. Someone needs to tank it though. The back door's gone, but they need someone else to actually start taking the damage. So unfortunately this push isn't really going to be doing that much damage at the moment. The Centaur's also up in only 7 seconds. And we'll just burst down the creeps. Didn't even use an aggressive fortify there. A little bit too early. Now the defensive one comes out, kills the rest of the creeps off. And that probably will just have to be Out of the Breach falling back. Oh, actually, the Swashbuckle, it gets the connection with the stun there onto Schnorr. The Swift Flash as well is going to be off damage to get off. The Telekinesis is so low, they can't actually finish him. He's able to escape, but Gasper, he actually jumps in. He gets the stun, he gets another stun, but the Swashbuckle back. Physics actually takes him down the long-range Arcane Bolt. And the PL's gone for 70 seconds. No buyback. Delina will buy back herself. They've got to try and get them off this set of barracks. The tier 3's already gone. Is it going to be enough, though? Jump for Dark Persona, gets the stun onto 2, but another switch back forward there from Manbear. Oh, and Savak is able to get the lasso, trying to pull him back in towards the pit, but the Yule Scepter there from Gasper gives him the space, keeps him alive. Dark Persona ends up dropping instead. The range barracks falls, the melee's going to be dropping pretty damn soon itself. And there's still another like 36 seconds without the PL, without the Centaur. And Brody just gets a kill into line without any sort of contestation. Savak has to pop the BKB in the well just to survive from the Mormor's kisses. And Patro also dying. They're actually diving the fountain. 31 minutes. The Swift Slash used finally there to take him down. Manbear might end up dying to the well. He does that final tick of damage. It costs him his life for that BM. And Savak's actually going to buy back for this. Going to try and go forward to find a kill. He doesn't have a flame and lasso. He gets stunned with the Swashbuckle lift off the Telekinesis. He's dead. It's a dieback from him. Physics does die in return there for the dot damage. And mass tips coming out onto the Batrider. Oh, man. That's going to be soul crushing for Savak. And now, just like that, it's a 14,000 gold lead in the favour of Out the Breach. One set of barracks down. I mean, the Rubik and the Jug's gone. So really, all of their actual building damage has sort of been taken away. Not that Rubik was a factor of that, but pretty much the Jug's their only real building here on the team. And they will just fall back. They'll reset. Wait for the Jug to be back up, and they will probably make another move. Roshan also up in 1 minute 38 seconds. They're pinging it out to go check it, but obviously they don't know it's there yet. There's actually DD outside the pit as well, but that's not going to be... They might leave it as long as they possibly can up to the 34-minute mark to try and get the most out of that rune. And Physics is just waiting in the pit. He's just going to say the Roshan, it should be up any second now. It could appear. And with this double damage outside the pit, well, Mambet actually picks it up already. I thought maybe they would wait as close as they possibly could to the second minute to get the most out of its duration, but unfortunately they're not going to be able to actually get that bonus damage to take Roshan faster. They will just decide to fall back. And all three calls on the side of OutOfTheBreach at the top of the net worth chart. The Bat Rider and the PL, not really that super far behind, to be honest. Only like 1,000 gold behind the Jug. A couple of thousand behind the Tinker and the Pango. It's just the Centaur, really, between all the calls that's fallen behind a fair chunk. Well, actually, they got the initiation here with the Hex onto the PL. All the damage followed up. They take it down. Even Savage steps out of position. He also ends up falling. 2 quick kills. Casper's not even done yet. He's still charging in, trying to go for the grab here onto the Lina. And a couple of stuns. He will decide to fall back there with the buyback coming out from Shanor on the PL. And Stolen Hoof stomp there from Physics. It's always nice to have that little guaranteed stun. Especially in the hands of Rubik. It lasts so damn long. With this high ground siege coming out, Member, they're slowly beating into the tower with the spin. The Lion just respawning now, so it's a full man, 5-man lineup up and ready to fight here from SkadiDaddies. But is it going to be enough? The full-on Omni Slash was used there from Mambear Slav will end up just going back onto the creep, so not really achieving anything. But they're just slowly seeding this, tickling away at it one bit at a time. The little shredder with a couple of hits on the Jug, they fall back. And actually, Gasper's already jumping into the backline, so he gets the initial stun onto Dark Persona, held up by the Hex with the jump forwards with the Swift Slash. The Centaur dies pretty damn quickly. The Sea ends up dropping down. They can try and focus onto Brody. He's getting pretty damn low. Looks like the Lina will end up dropping down for this. He does die. And the cookie actually there from Fred. He gets Brony out of the base and into safety. Nice moves there from them. Swag's trying to keep chase. He's getting pretty low for this. Fred will die for the save. But he's done the work. Now Physics next under danger. Snore just piles onto him with too many illusions to deal with. Manbear Slab, though, with the triple kill, takes down the Savage. And he's after Savage. Wants to have an extra one. Going to pop the Swift Blast to try and destroy it. He gets the grab into Savage. It's just the PL left with the buyback from the Lion. Going to try and turn this fight around with the finger onto Manbear. It's going to be enough, though. The Lion ends up falling down, but they kill the Jug before he can do any more damage. It's a dieback for the Lion. But at least he keeps the PL alive, as well as taking down the Jug. But it's just the Tinker and the Pango left alive. And as I was saying before, there's not much capabilities of hitting buildings between these two heroes. The Brony's just going to keep on spamming out the March of the Machines, making it a really difficult area for the other squad to fight into. He's actually going to jump forwards there with the Hex onto Schnorr. The Persona trying to charge in himself to make some space with the Stampede. He's just going to juke around in circles. But Gasper with the Blink Dagger with the jump forward. The Yule Scepter as well. Triple stun onto the Centaur. And then he will just roll on out. And the melee barracks, only thing left standing in the mid lane. There's still 2 catapults beating into this. So this building will inevitably go down, leaving just the bottom set of barracks as the only objective left for SkadiDaddies.
I almost feel bad.
So that's going to be their next target as soon as this Jug's up. I mean, actually, the Roshan is up now. And there is a DD out the bottom rune. So this is definitely on the cards there for Out of the Breach if they decide to go for it. I mean, I don't see any reason not to. Just get the second Roche, Aegis, Cheese, and Aghanim Shards. Just give your team another little big boon for the next engagement and just try and close this game out. There's definitely going to be a tall order now for SkadiDaddies to try and turn these fights around. And actually, jump forwards there for Gasper into the trees. They find Patro hiding in there, but Savak able to get the Flaming Lasso onto Brody. He's going to drag him away from the rest of his team, but he's no damage. Savak has to TP back to base. Can't do anything whatsoever. Patro, unfortunately, doesn't have a BKB TP option. Oh, Dark Persona. He steps out of position just a little bit too much. Only gets hit by one of the stuns, but the Mormons Kiss is raining down from above. It's doing a hell of a lot of damage. He's trying to run away, but the Mormons Kiss is chasing after him. Gets the kill. Fred has the double as well. Oh, Gaspe actually jumping in with a very early Abyssal Blade as well. Trying to hold back Survey. The Swift Slash as well from Manbear. Now going to commit to the full Omni. Takes them both down. It's just the Centaur on the PL against the entire squad of Out the Breach. The tier 3's gone. The barracks are soon to drop as well. Can they do anything whatsoever to stop this from happening? I don't think so. This is just a matter of time. A good game, well played, has been dropped from Savax. And SkadiDaddies tap out of the Breach, taking game number 1 in this best of 2 series. It was a very strong show in this first game. It wasn't... Neither team was like really ahead after the laning phase. It felt pretty equal. Both mid laners had similar farm. Both position ones had similar farm. It was not really a big advantage came about from that. It was just all of the engagements in the early parts of the game which really started building up Out of the Breach's lead. And I have to give the MVP to Gasper this game. Like, that man did so much work on this Pango. Just amazing bounces around with the Rolling Thunder, controlling up so many people. Just chain stuns after chain stuns. Really screwed over Schnorr multiple times. All it really takes is a few deaths in a row into position 1 that can really stagger out your game. Allowed Manbear to build a greater lead over the top of him. And they were able to close out the game. So well played to them. Game number 1. Game number 2 coming out pretty soon. Just a short break. And I'll see you after that.